Have you ever told a tiny lie, thinking it meant nothing, only to find it quietly changing who you are? Today's story might remind you of your own hidden truths. Welcome back to Mind Ripple Tales, Moral Minds Unlocked, where simple stories reveal powerful lessons about human nature. Today, you'll hear about Liam, whose single lie, a small broken window, set the stage for lifelong questions about trust, honesty, and the person he would become. It was an ordinary Saturday. Liam was 10 years old, excited and proud. He'd just received his first baseball bat from his dad for good grades. The sun was bright, and Liam practiced swing after swing, feeling like a hero with every hit. But heroes make mistakes too. With a powerful swing, the ball sailed over the fence, and crack. Mrs. Jensen's kitchen window shattered. Liam's heart stopped, time frozen as glass sprinkled onto the kitchen floor. From behind his fence, Liam saw Mrs. Jensen look up, startled. Later that evening, Mrs. Jensen knocked softly at the door, holding Liam's baseball. Her face was kind but concerned. She asked gently, "Liam, do you know anything about this?" Liam's throat felt tight. His father stood beside him, expecting honesty. But Liam shook his head and lied. "No, ma'am. It wasn't me." Mrs. Jensen's eyes lingered briefly, then nodded slowly. "All right, Liam," she said quietly. "I trust you." That night, Liam's parents praised his honesty, unaware he'd just begun a journey he never intended. Days turned into weeks. Life moved on, at least on the surface. But for Liam, each day felt heavier. Every time he saw Mrs. Jensen's new window, guilt twisted his stomach. He started to avoid her house altogether, crossing the street just to dodge the reminder of his hidden truth. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance, the discomfort when actions contradict your values. Liam's mind kept whispering excuses. It was tiny. Nobody got hurt. It was just a window. But deep down, the knot in his chest never left. As Liam grew older, each new situation offered the same choice, honesty or comfort. And every time he chose comfort, the path of the lie grew wider. At 14, he copied test answers and called it survival. At 16, he lied about where he was, pretending to protect his parents from worry. Each lie felt smaller than the last, but each one made him feel further away from who he wanted to be. The broken window faded from his parents' memories, but not his own. He could still see Mrs. Jensen's searching eyes, her quiet trust, her gentle forgiveness that he'd never earned. Years later, sitting in therapy as an adult, Liam finally told the story aloud for the first time. He said, "That tiny lie changed me. It showed me I could escape trouble by hiding. And that stuck with me." His therapist explained the foot in the door effect, how one small compromise makes bigger compromises easier. Our brains get comfortable with the story that the truth is too risky, too heavy, too much trouble. But what about Mrs. Jensen? When Liam finally visited her as an adult and confessed, he braced for disappointment. Instead, Mrs. Jensen smiled kindly and said, "I always knew, Liam. But I believed you'd find your way back. Honesty has its own way of calling us home." Her gentle forgiveness gave Liam peace, but it also showed him how much time he'd lost. The window was just glass, easily replaced. The trust inside him, however, had cracked and spread for decades. Science shows that lying, even small lies, trains our brains to run from discomfort. Small lies today make bigger lies easier tomorrow. Honesty feels harder in the moment but always costs less in the long run. So, what's your broken window? Is there a truth you buried because it seemed too small to matter? Or does a knot of guilt still remind you of who you wanted to be? If Liam's story resonates, share this with someone who thinks small lies don't matter. Like, subscribe to Mind Ripple Tales, and drop in the comments. What was your broken window? One story, one ripple. See you next Wednesday for another Moral Minds Unlocked.